They love me still. And I love people. I don't know why. If Mama would get in that horse and buggy to go up to the store, wasn't but one store in Fairfax.
What's the name of the store?
Piggly Wiggly.
And was it segregated? I mean, could you go in the front door?
Yeah, you could go in the Piggly Wiggly because my daddy would go in that Piggly Wiggly and buy a loaf of bread for a nickel. Get off that streetcar that run right up there in front of the courthouse. Where the big bank is.
Uh-huh.
The streetcar would run right up there. My dad would get off and go down there. And the old Hurl place where we get the paper is still standing.
Now, what's the Herald place?
Where they had papers.
Newspapers.
Yeah, newspapers. Okay. And that is still standing. And the city hall, that is still standing. Now that's where I did an interview up there too. I went up there and did an interview up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had 2 here at this house.
So at the Piggly Wiggly, could your dad just go and buy anything, or did the whites get him what he wanted?
Yeah, you could go in there because they always knew my daddy. Hi, Mr. Bowles. And one but one bank in Fairfax, and that's up on the corner now, and one teller, and his name was Mr. Littleton. That bank is still there. It's the name of the Family Bank now. If you know, the Family Bank, right at the end of Sager. As you go out Sager all the way up to 123, just before you get to the courthouse, that bank is still standing.
So when you were a little girl going to Mount Calvary, what kind of things did you do at Mount Calvary? Did you ever have day excursions or picnics or homecomings?
They used to have picnics out there. Mm-hmm. That's about all I can remember that they had out there. Had the picnics out there. And they would serve dinner, and my grandmother would be out there. I'd ride that buggy. And everybody she'd look at and see, she'd have a cup. She always carried a cup with her and a spoon. She said, come here, you black rascal, you put some ice cream in this cup for me.
Now this is homemade ice cream, right?
Yes, that was homemade ice cream. Yeah. And then we had, what we call them neighbors, back over here on the Braddock. The Washburns, the Critches. We always called them our neighbors because they were the closest.
And they were white?
They were white. And we loved them and they loved us.
So what were the white schools? You talked about your elementary school and teacher having her foot through the floor. What did the white schools look like? Were they brick?
They were much better. Yeah. And that's why they had to tear that school down. And then when they put up Lebanons out there. They've gotten rid of those too, haven't they?
I don't know.
It's been some changes made since I've been here.
What are some of the changes?
The schools, the people, but, and here, wasn't nothing here but woods. It was a big valley over in there where we carried tin cans and trash and put down in the hold over there. And then this house over there where we all worked at that same house.
Right.
And then over on this side up there, the man had a farm. Had a golf course up on that farm. Wasn't nothing back here but woods. Nothing.
And then you came here in 1960 is when this house was finished.
Uh-huh.
And you've been here ever since 1960.
Ever since 1960. And I hope to stay. My daughter said to me one day.
So you remember before George Mason University was built.
Oh my Lord.
Who owned the land where George Mason was? Was it a black family?
No, I think it was a family by the name of Ruins. The house is still up there on the hill. The Ruins.
Did you know them?
Yeah, we knew them. They were our neighbors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd go up there. Up there, going on to the Ruins. They were nice, but they wasn't as nice as these down here. The Beaches and the Garrisons lived down here. a house down there. As you go up there.
Now, did you ever ride that streetcar that you talked about?
Oh yeah, we used to have the fairground. We used to have the fairground, and we'd ride that streetcar and go down to this place called D-Mount. Down there in Arlington somewhere. We'd ride that down there.
And that was a fairground.
Uh-huh.
What would you do when you get to the fairgrounds?
Oh, people would have different exhibits, you know. And they'd have, some people bring one thing, and they'd get a price on it, and somebody have something else and something else like that.
Were the streetcars segregated?
No,
So you could sit anywhere you wanted to?
so far as I know. Yeah, because my daddy worked on that Arlington Fairfax Lane.
What did your dad do on that railroad?
Well, when the weather was bad, he would keep the snow off the tracks to keep the tracks clean. That's what he did when the weather was bad. He would do that. But other than that, he just worked around the railroad from Fairfax to Arlington.
So in the city of Fairfax, where now the courthouse and Massey building, what was around there when you were growing up? You said it was the Piggly Wiggly and the courthouse.
Yeah, the Piggly Wiggly was right up here in Fairfax. You know where the bank is? That's where the Piggly Wiggly was. And I remember when they put Pickett Road through. I was in Falls Church when they put Pickett Road through there. And when I came back to Fairfax, I said, well, well, well. And I remember when they put 50 through. I remember when they did 50.
So before was just what, dirt roads or one lane?
Just dirt, woods, no.
So let me ask you, with your neighbors that were the white neighbors that were in the neighborhood, when you go visit, could you go through the front door, or did they make you go through the back door?
No, you go to the front door. Because they were just as poor. As Mama said, they was poor as cat pee.
So they were poor, so you just go to the front door.
Yeah.
Did you ever sit down and eat dinner with them?
No, couldn't eat there.
Okay.
Couldn't eat that, nothing over there. They were not clean at all. No.
So it was that you didn't want to eat. It wasn't because you couldn't. It was because...
No, I just didn't want to.
And when you would visit the white neighbors, they never said anything, use racial slurs or
Now
anything?
this here, lady down here on the corner where my sister had her house, Janie, she was a little bit cleaner. And she would give us cookies and things like that. But these down here, the Beaches and Garrisons, you couldn't pay me to eat that. Oh, no. I remember one day, you just excuse my expression. I remember one day I went over there and they had a little boy over there. He had on diapers. And his bowels had moved. And when his bowels moved out there on the porch, she took it up and threw it out in the yard. I said, Lord.
So let me ask you, when you would travel, like when you were an adult and it was segregated, did you ever travel anywhere? Did you have problems with
I
restaurants?
traveled. When my daughter and her son, my son-in-law, was in Germany, those are the ones that live on Rolling Road. I went to Germany. I stayed over there for a month. And while I was in Germany, I took a trip to Paris. I wanted to go to Holland, but I used to suffer terrible with migraine headaches. And when my daughter woke up next morning, she said, Mama, you ready to go? I said, no, honey, I am sick as a dog. I said, I have a headache this morning. So I didn't get to Holland. But I've been to Canada. I've been all up that way. And then I've been all up and down the East Coast.
Did you ever go to Carl's Beach? Or Sparrow's Beach?
Yes. I've been to Coral Beach, Sparrows Beach.
Because those were the only beaches you could go to if it was during segregation, correct?
Yeah, so I've been those places.
What were they like?
They were pretty good. They were very good. I didn't see any segregation there. And then I've been to, went to Richmond, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida.
How was it traveling south during segregation?
Good. Because I said one day to my brother, I said, Purvis, they talk about the people in the South mistreating you. I said, but everybody's been very nice to me down here. And that was the first time I ever saw cotton grow.
Do you remember what year this was?
Oh my Lord, I couldn't tell you. I never saw cotton grow. And I looked over there and I said to Purvis, I said, well, look at all that snow over there. He said, girl, that's not snow. I said, well, what is it? He said, that's cotton. I said, cotton? See, he was the oldest, next to the oldest one. And he laughed at me, so then he pulled over on the roadside and let me get out and go over there and pick some cotton. I got me some cotton and I brought it back to this house. And I kept that cotton for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Lord have mercy. And Florida, I've been right down on the Keys. Stepped right on that point. I've done a lot of traveling.
Well, Ms. Richards, this